Welcome to Use Academy. In today's book review session, we're diving into a powerful and thought-provoking work, The End of History and the Last Man, by Francis Fukuyama. Published, 1992. Genre, political philosophy, political science. Get ready to explore the key ideas, themes, and global impact of this groundbreaking book. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel and press the bell icon so you never miss an update from Use Academy. Let's begin the journey. Summary: Francis Fukuyama's The End of History and the Last Man is a provocative political treatise that builds on an essay he published in 1989 titled, The End of History. Written after the fall of the Berlin Wall and during the global shift away from communism, the book argues that liberal democracy may constitute the end point of mankind's ideological evolution, a final form of human government. Fukuyama draws on historical philosophy, especially Hegel and Alexandre Koyave, to propose that human history is not random but directional, moving toward ever more rational political systems. Liberal democracy and free market capitalism, he argues, satisfy both human desire for material prosperity and thymos, the human need for recognition. While Fukuyama celebrates the victory of liberal democracy, he is cautious. The last man may become complacent and nihilistic, opening the door to future instability or even a return to authoritarianism. His work is not a declaration of utopia, but rather a reflection on the ideological victory of liberalism and the paradoxes it entails. Chapter Wise Review with Key Ideas and Quotes. Part 1, An Old Question Asked Anew. Chapter 1, The Weakness of Strong States. Key idea: totalitarian regimes, like the USSR, appear strong but are brittle. Fukuyama argues that the seeming strength of such states conceals internal decay. Quote, "The collapse of communism was not caused by external pressure but by internal weakness." Chapter 2, The Weakness of Strong States 2. Key idea: the failure of command economies reveals the superiority of liberal capitalist systems. He compares the economic inefficiency of the USSR with the innovation of capitalist economies. Quote, "A state that controls the economy controls the lives of its citizens in ways that cannot be separated from political control." Part 2, The Old Age of Mankind. Chapter 3, The Worldwide Liberal Revolution. Key idea: liberal democracy is becoming the dominant global ideology, influenced by the collapse of communism and democratization in Asia, Africa, and Latin America. Quote, "Liberalism is the only ideology left with a universal appeal." Chapter 4, An Idea for a Universal History. Key idea: draws on Hegel's notion of history as directional, toward freedom. History ends when there are no fundamental contradictions in society. Quote, "History can be seen as the progress of the consciousness of freedom." Part 3, The Struggle for Recognition. Chapter 5, No Barbarians at the Gates. Key idea: challenges the idea that liberal democracy is constantly under threat. Societal challenges are internal rather than external. Quote, "The real threat is not foreign ideology but our own doubt and cynicism." Chapter 6, In the Land of Education. Key idea: education supports liberal democracy by developing rational critical thinking. However, it also contributes to disillusionment. Quote, "Knowledge has not made men free, but it has made them skeptical." Chapter 7, The Mechanism of Desire. Key idea: influenced by Plato and Hegel, human desire is not only for material needs but for recognition. Quote, "Desire is human only when directed at another desire." Chapter 8, The Origin of the State. Key idea: the state arises from the struggle for recognition. The first man is the one willing to risk his life for prestige. Based on Hegelian dialectic. Quote, "The state is born from the master-slave dialectic." Chapter 9, The Two Revolutions. Key idea: political and economic liberalization are distinct but often go hand in hand. Quote, "Markets alone do not make men free, institutions do." Part 4, Leaping Over Roads. Chapter 10, The Last Man. Key idea: Nietzsche's last man is a person without striving, content in comfort, lacking higher purpose. Fukuyama warns liberal democracy may breed such men. Quote, "The last man is the creature of comfortable self-preservation." Chapter 11, In the Realm of Freedom. Key idea: true freedom involves more than choice, it requires moral responsibility and recognition. Quote, freedom means being recognized by others as a free being. Chapter 12, The End of History. Key idea: with liberal democracy triumphant, ideological evolution may be over, but history continues. The end of history is not the cessation of events but of ideological conflict. Quote, what we may be witnessing is not just the end of the Cold War, but the end of history as such. Part 5, The Last Man. Chapter 13, Men Without Chests. Key idea: modern liberalism may fail to cultivate virtues like courage, pride, or sacrifice. Echoes C.S. Lewis's critique of education. Quote, in removing the sources of tyranny, we may also have removed the sources of greatness. Chapter 14, Absolutism and the Struggle for Mastery. Key idea: some societies may reject liberalism in favor of ethnic, religious, or national pride. Quote, the desire for recognition can take pathological forms. Chapter 15, The Islamic Alternative. Key idea: Islam poses a unique challenge to liberalism, not in terms of economic competition but ideological rejection. Quote, Islam has universal aspirations, but lacks universal appeal. Chapter 16, Race, Class, and Identity. Key idea: liberalism must grapple with group-based recognition demands, like race and gender. Quote, the liberal promise of equal recognition may be undermined by identity politics. Chapter 17, The Self-Overcoming of Man. Key idea: biotechnology and transhumanism may challenge what it means to be human, and thus, the liberal subject. Quote, the last man may become the first post-human. Main themes: end of history, not the end of events, but the end of ideological evolution, liberal democracy as the final form. Thymos, desire for recognition, a central human drive. Politics is ultimately about mutual recognition, not just economics. The fragility of liberalism. Liberal democracies may collapse from within due to apathy, identity politics, or nihilism. Global political evolution. Democracy has spread due to rational progress, but different paths and cultures may resist it. The last man, a person who values comfort and safety over greatness and virtue, the shadow side of modern liberalism. Notable quotes. The end of history will be a very sad time. Liberal democracy remains the only coherent political aspiration that spans different cultures and regions. The desire for recognition is the most fundamentally human of all human characteristics. We may be entering a post-human era in which history, as we know it, has no place. The universal homogeneous state is boring, but perhaps that is its strength. Critical evaluation. Strengths. Integrates philosophy, Hegel, Nietzsche, Plato, with political science and current affairs. Visionary in anticipating many debates around identity politics, nationalism, and post-liberalism. Addresses both material and moral dimensions of human progress. Weaknesses. Too optimistic about the finality of liberal democracy, underestimates the resurgence of authoritarianism. Lacks sufficient empirical data, especially on non-Western political models. Some critics view the argument as Eurocentric or overly abstract. Conclusion. The end of history and the last man is not a triumphalist declaration but a sober reflection on the ideological trajectory of humanity. Fukuyama invites us to consider whether liberal democracy truly marks the endpoint of our political development, or whether new challenges, spiritual, cultural, technological, may require a new kind of political and philosophical reawakening. It remains a seminal work in political theory, especially relevant in an age of rising populism, authoritarian revival, and civilizational debate.
Thank you for watching. We really appreciate your time and support. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon so you never miss an update. Drop your thoughts in the comments. We'd love to hear from you. Stay tuned for more exciting content. See you in the next video.